Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. How are you all doing? It is good to see all of you. Thank you for joining me. It is just another day here at the Crigler Show. Today, I'm going to be talking about a few things that you might have been aware of already. I just feel like I want to say my piece about it. For those who don't know, Dave Chappelle did a new special called The Closer on Netflix. And there's, of course, controversy because he makes fun of a certain group of people. And I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to talk about what happened, my thoughts on The Closer myself. I saw it last weekend, and I thought it was quite good. It was funny, and I talked about it a little bit on the main event last night on Geeks and Gamers. And I figured I might as well come out and tell you guys what I think. If you missed what my thoughts on it last night on Geeks and Gamers, which I had a great time on. Shout out to Geeks and Gamers. You guys are great. Thanks for having me on the main event. I think I'll be joining them more often. They just started, so it's still kind of new. Robert Barnes was on the show last night with me. It was a great time. I actually hadn't ever talked to him before, but we follow each other on Twitter and we see each other. Volume's a little low. Let me turn myself up a little bit. All right, how's that? Is that a little better, chat? All right. So, anyway, can you guys hear me now? Anyway, I'm gonna. Hopefully that's good. I can turn myself up on the fly. Good thing I'm watching. You guys are great over in chat for letting me know any sort of discrepancies with my show. Yeah, I had to turn it down a little bit on the Geeks and Gamers, and in fact, they could probably turn my mic down from their end, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. What else am I talking about? So I'm going to be talking about Kamala Harris. She did this NASA. I love space, all right? And we're going to be talking about space a little bit today because William Shatner actually became the oldest man to go to space, although some would argue that he didn't actually make it to space. But anyway, he did, and it's pretty good. We're going to talk about it, and I want to talk about his reaction to going to space, to seeing the atmosphere, to seeing space, and it's pretty cool. And it's exactly as I would have thought that he would have responded, and it's pretty cool. But then I'm going to poke fun at Kamala Harris because she hired a bunch of child actors to, I don't know, join her in some sort of group, and they talk about, I don't even know what is, hold on, let me just look at the video. It's called Vice President Kamala Harris. Oh, Get Curious with Vice President Harris. That's what it's called. It is embarrassing. They are currently at 19,000 dislikes to 2,000 likes. Yeah, very, very strongly ratioed. And hilarious because it's so cringy, and I can't believe they actually went with this. They hired a bunch of child actors to play the part of, these random kids that were just chosen to be part of this space group. Yeah, but I'm going to make fun of it and maybe poke fun at Biden a little bit too because of the whole fake president thing. They have this fake White House that they built across the street. But I'm going to get into that. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more when I actually get to that moment. But all right, first and foremost, I want to show you guys this Hunter Biden action figure. This is from Chrissy Mayer. You guys have to see this. It's absolutely hilarious. Check this out. This is a Hunter Biden action figure. I guess Andy Masterson made it for her, and it is hilarious. Check this out.
Here is my limited edition Hunter Biden action figure, complete with laptop.
You know what? I got to say, it would have been funnier if the laptop was missing. You see what I did there?
I brought it in.
Ukrainian natural gas for dummies. Sneakers, the scarf, cigarettes. Look at this little crack pipe. I can't.
A little crack pipe. Okay. It goes on, and then there's a little swearing, but it was hilarious. And I just wanted to show you guys. I saw it, so you needed to see it too, because it's pretty funny. I might actually do this a little more often, where I just kind of, if I see something funny, I might start the show by showing you guys It's pretty good. Check out my website, adamcrigler.com. You can find all the stuff that I do. My podcast RSS numbers there if you want. The coffee shop, of course, to check out Crigler Coffee. And all my videos are organized in such a nice, cozy way. Thanks for Nisha for actually setting this up. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to dive right in. So The Closer came out. This is David Chappelle's final special for Netflix that he said this is it, and he called it The Closer. And I started seeing a bunch of people talking about it on Twitter. It was trending. There was a bunch of rage going on, and I'm like, you know what? Before I even read into what these people are talking about, I'm going to go ahead and just go watch The Closer myself. So I did. And I laughed a lot. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was very heartfelt. I'm gonna do a little spoilers, by the way. I need to talk about it. So if you have not seen it, I'm sorry. I have to talk about some of the stuff that he talks about. All right, it might ruin a little bit of it. I mean, just fair warning, okay? So he targets the trans community. It's pretty much the entire thing is about calling them out for, I don't know, hypocrisy, thin skin, but layered throughout the entire special, he references a good friend of his who happens to be transgender, or rather happened to be transgender. She is no longer on this world, and the reason why is because she defended David Chappelle. She came out and said some stuff on Twitter in his defense, and the trans community ate her up and ripped her apart, and she killed herself. And it was really sad. And you can see that David Chappelle was very saddened by this, and very grateful to have a friend that would defend him, because as he states in this special, he has nothing against transgender people, right? He makes fun of everyone. That's simply the case. If you watched anything from David Chappelle, No One's Safe, I mean, a real good comedian will do that. Will make fun of everyone and use everything in their power to make people laugh. These people, I say these people, all right, because it's not all trans people, right? It is the offended. It is the people that are triggered when someone mentions it, when someone doesn't agree with it. Some people don't understand it and won't ever understand it. There's a point where we have to know that not everyone will ever agree with everything, right? I mean, there's these people out there that will not accept it. They will never accept the fact that there are going to be people out there that won't understand, and nor will they want to understand. And they're raging. So Netflix put out The Closer, and they've had controversy about things that they have posted. Cuties, more specifically, there was a lot of people stopping their Netflix accounts, and they kept it on there. I don't agree with it, but they kept it on. And when you hear what they say, what they respond, and here's a response. So Netflix responds to far left outrage over David Chappelle's "We support his artistic freedom." I'm going to read this to you, and man, I don't like the idea of what Cuties is. I don't like the sexualization of kids. I know that they say, well, it's actually calling it out. Okay, yeah, well, it's still doing it. It's still making that more mainstream. Like, people are seeing that, and it's gross. I don't like that at all. It shouldn't, Well, let me just show you guys what this says here. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos addressed outrage from some inside the company over a new comedy special featuring legendary comedian Dave Chappelle, saying that the company supports Chappelle's artistic freedom. The Netflix special, The Closer, has been widely praised by many online and in reviews, with audience score reaching as high as 97% on the popular website Rotten Tomatoes. Chappelle triggered the far left with jokes about the trans community, defending J.K. Rowling, and going after the LGBT community for trying to cancel a rapper over a comment the rapper made. In a Friday memo sent after Netflix's quarterly business review, a 2-day gathering of the top 500 employees at the company, Sarandos offered guidance on how managers should handle upset employees and angry talent. And here it is right here. This is the full statement. I'm just going to read it in its entirety to you. And here we go. I wanted to follow up on The Closer, Dave Chappelle's latest special, as several of you have reached out following QBR asking what to say to your teams. It never feels good when people are hurting, especially our colleagues, so I wanted to give you some additional context. You should also be aware that some talent may join third parties in asking us to remove the show in the coming days, which we are not going to do. Chappelle is one of the most popular stand-up comedians today, and we have a long-standing deal with him. His last special, Sticks and Stones, also controversial, is our most watched, stickiest, and most award-winning stand-up special to date. As with our other talent, we work hard to support their creative freedom, even though this means there will always be content on Netflix some people believe is harmful, like Cuties, 365 Days, 13 Reasons Why, or My Unorthodox Life. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know any of these or what they are. Obviously, there was the whole controversy with Cuties when it first came out and people were outraged, so I know of Cuties. But I don't know what these other ones are or why they're controversial, but you know, they make a good point. I don't know, a couple weeks ago we were talking about hate speech, and I said there's a difference, quoting Tom McDonald, there's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. And someone called me out. They were like, that's just a term. Hate speech, it doesn't exist. It's just speech. You're the one who declares if it's hate or not. Sure, it could be a terrible take. It could be a take that you think is horrible, that targets specific people, but you give it the power, right? And to be able to see these people saying these kind of things is important. To know what kind of speech should be shunned, should be shamed, for people to go, that right there, that's someone who's a terrible human being, the things that they're saying, right? So it falls along the lines of these movies or things you might not agree with, but then we have a comparison, right? We have something to go, this here is bad, that makes this over here much, much better, right? But anyway, continuing on with his statement, it's almost done here. Several of you have asked where we draw the line on hate. We don't allow titles, Netflix, that are designed to incite hate or violence, and we don't believe The Closer crosses that line. I recognize, however, that distinguishing between commentary and harm is hard, especially with stand-up comedy, which exists to push boundaries. Some people find the art of stand-up to be mean-spirited, but our members enjoy it, and it's an important part of our content offering. Some people find the art of stand-up to be mean-spirited. Who cares? So, it's not inciting violence. The only thing that I felt after watching that was sadness, actually. It was funny, I laughed a bunch of times, but I felt sad because you can tell that Dave Chappelle really felt for his friend that killed herself. Because the more when you hear the whole story about how, you know, their interaction and that it was a terrible, she was a terrible stand-up comedian, but then he realized that it wasn't necessarily, her humor wasn't the best in stand-up comedy, but she was an incredible comedian, but she needed the right environment. And he helped actually foster that. And, you know, he gained an actual friendship with this person and felt sad about the way that it all went down. But let me just continue here. In terms of our commitment to inclusion, we're working hard to ensure more people see their lives reflected on screen and that underrepresented communities are not defined by the Singe story. So we're proud of titles like Sex Education, Young Royals, Control Z, and Disclosure. Externally, particularly in stand-up comedy, artistic freedom is obviously a different standard of speech than we allowed internally, as the goals are different. Entertaining people versus maintaining a respectful, productive workplace. Today's conversation on Entertain the World was timely. These are hard and uncomfortable issues. We all bring different values and perspectives, so thank you for being a part of the conversation. As it's important, we're clear about our operating principles. So it's interesting because, we see a lot of these inclusion stories that they're talking about here where they want, he says something specifically here. In terms of our commitment to inclusion, which I'm all about, right? Cool. Normalize everything. Like, I'm fine with, well, all right, within reason, okay? But I think you know where I'm going with this. We're working hard to ensure more people see their lives reflected on screen and that underrepresented communities are not defined by the Singe story. Okay, so I wasn't going to actually bring this up, but, because this is like another thing, but they just made Superman gay, right? They made Robin Superman bisexual, right? There's nothing wrong with being bisexual. That's not what I'm talking about. But changing something for inclusion is ruining something else. Make something new, right? If you really want to give someone representation, create something for them instead of pandering to them and changing something that other people like. See, here, let me give you scraps of this other character. That's what it feels like. It's kind of like a slap in the face because you're basically saying to both sides of the aisle, like, you don't get to keep your beloved character. Well, let's just give you this beloved character that changes just to pander to you, instead of making something new. All right, but let me stay more on tune with this. So, of course, people are freaking out. They are going nuts. Dave Chappelle's new comedy special denounced by equality groups. Netflix employees, even some employees are freaking out. In fact, some of them actually got arrested. Now, this basically starts talking about a lot of the things that he said. I can't actually say some of these things because guess what? They would probably freak out and come after me. And funny enough, well, I'll show you. Check this out. So, Netflix suspends trans employee who tweeted about Dave Chappelle special. That's how the left is pushing this. That's how they're pushing it. They're saying Netflix suspended the trans employee who tweeted about the David Chappelle special. Okay. That is absolutely gaslighting to the max, and that's what they do. They've picked and chosen the way that they can craft this narrative. It turns out that Netflix CEO, when he was talking and giving his employees, those top 500 employees, a way to speak to their subordinates and how to handle the heat that they're getting for the closer, they tried to barge in there and be activists and try to, change the mind of the CEOs and cancel Dave Chappelle, basically. Well, they got fired for that. That's the reason they got fired, because they barged in. Netflix fires 3 employees who tried to force their way into an executive meeting over David Chappelle's alleged transphobia. So they're now mixing it and saying, oh no, they got booted because they're trans. No, they didn't. That is not the reason. And it's the same thing with David Chappelle's The Closer. If you watched it at all, you would know. And he even says it. He's like, I've never been against transgender people at all. Of course, he just makes a joke. It's just about white people, But it was funny because he does make fun of white people a lot. And that's okay. I don't care. It doesn't affect me, right? They're trying to claim that he is causing violence. And here's Tara Field, or at Reign of Terror on Tara on Twitter. So I was like, you know what? Let me read this thread. Let me go find out what this thread's all about. And of course, I'm assuming if you don't know Twitter, this usually means that I am blocked. And in fact, I am. Interesting. Because I have never been against transgender people either. I have no problem with an adult choosing to do whatever they want to do as long as it doesn't affect me or kids. Don't mess with kids. Stop trying to force things on kids, okay? If you're an adult, you do what you want. That's where I stand. I know some conservatives don't like that, and some liberals say that's not far enough. It doesn't matter. That's my stance, okay? That's how I've always been. Well, but I'm blocked. But of course, I don't think they realize that there is private windows that you can, in fact, see what it is. So I opened it up because I wanted to see. And this person is talking about all the people that aren't offended, but that have been killed because of course, they claim that it's because of them being trans. And I was reading through these, and we don't know if this is actually the case. It just happens to be people who were trans that got killed. The first one is an example in Chicago. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if you know anything about Chicago, but people get killed there all the time. And it's crazy. They don't call it Chirac for nothing, okay? I'm from Chicago. It's actually the only place that I've been shot at in my lifetime. It was a scary thing, but it's not a safe place, okay? Lori Lightfoot, yeah, you're doing a terrible job as mayor. Side note. Anyway, back to this. So I'm not going to read this, okay? But she's basically saying, well, we're not offended. We're just getting killed. It's like, okay, well, everyone gets killed, and you don't really have proof that it has anything to do with someone being trans, or if that's the case. And I don't know if it is. And maybe sometimes it could be, right? But Dave Chappelle, if you actually listen to it, he was making fun of the militant people. People make fun of vegans all the time, but they're making fun of the militant vegans. Not a lot of people know that I have been eating eggs randomly. I haven't had eggs in a little while, but I try to eat vegan. I was fully vegan for a long time, but I don't talk about it much. People make a bigger deal out of it than I do. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I don't really want to talk to you about what my eating habits are because they're mine. I don't care about your eating habits. And, people always say, like, how do you know what the vegan is? And it's like, oh, they'll tell you. And it's like, I don't know if that's really the case. Maybe with the militant ones, the people that make it their entire ideology. That's not how I do it. Because how I eat, it doesn't affect you at all. It goes same with my sexuality. My sexuality doesn't affect you at all. So why would I make it like on the forefront of like everything that I represent? It shouldn't. So going back to what Netflix was saying about normalizing inclusivity and what all that, how is that representative of a person? What all gay people are like rainbows and butterflies and glitter in the air? Like, no, that is a portion of them, sure. But are all gay people like that? Probably not. Are all masculine men super like buff and going to the gym all the time? Not necessarily either. It's like these people are the ones that are adhering to the stereotypes and then getting angry at people that adhere to stereotypes. Let's normalize being a good human being, right? I mean, and stop focusing on the wrong things. These people are, in the special, David Chappelle calls out these people that are just reiterating the main talking points. He even he brings up many examples about how someone walked up to him and is like, I have a trans daughter that, you're the one who's blah, blah, blah. And he asked, like, did you even watch my special? Do you even know what you're talking about? Or are you just reiterating what you've heard, what you've been told to say? And it really did just prove him right. So if you watch the closer, and then watch how people reacted to it, you could see exactly what he was talking about. He called out exactly how people were going to respond for what he was talking about. And it was masterfully done. The dude is a genius. Dave Chappelle, you are a genius. You're hilarious, but you're also incredibly smart. You know, how he responded with his 8 minutes and 42 seconds. I don't remember that 46 seconds, that special that he did. It's like, okay, well, I don't agree with everything he says, and that's okay. We should be allowed to not agree with every single thing anyone says, right? Because we're all humans and we're all completely different. So, I mean, I'm going to finish this up with this tweet. I tweeted this out, and this is from Rob Schneider, and I'm just going to read this to you guys. He was talking about Saturday Night Live, but I think it fits on so many different levels. He says, much late-night comedy is less about being funny and more about indoctrination by comedic imposition. People aren't really laughing at it as much as cheering on the rhetoric. It no longer resembles a comedy show. It's more like some sort of liberal Klan meeting. I mean, that could be really scaled up on so many different things. It's not about Saturday Night Live. It's not about even just late night comedy. It's comedy in general. It's movies in general. It's the news in general. Like, you think about the news. You're getting information, but it's based on trying to convince you of a narrative. And same with movies. They're shoving things down your throat. They're not even worried about making it good, making a good video game, making a good movie. They just want to make sure that they're getting their message across. And people don't want to be lectured to, right? I don't want to be lectured. I want to be entertained. And I want to laugh when I go to a comedy show. I think about Stephen Colbert and that dancing vaccination, like the COVID, what are they? The syringes, so cringy. But that's a perfect example of what this is. It's them trying to indoctrinate the masses, and people aren't laughing. They're going, "Yay, you're so virtuous." I miss the days that SNL was funny. I mean, I'm early 80s child. I was born in 84, and now I live in 1984. But I grew up watching Chris Farley, Chris Rock, Rob Schneider was on there back before they pushed him out because he didn't follow their narrative. Steve Martin. These greats of comedy that were about making you laugh. They wanted to make you laugh, and that's what they did. And they pushed. I mean, we just lost Norm Macdonald. This dude's hilarious. His dry comedy is unmatched. George Carlin, my goodness. I posted a video of George Carlin today. I can't play it for you because he swears a lot, but the dude was a freaking prophet. Comedy is just not the same anymore. The vaccine, yeah, that's what it was. That was embarrassing. Phil Hartman, yeah, exactly. What another great. That was a shame that what happened to him. Hilarious though. These old school comedians, like, that's how it used to be. It was about making you laugh, not following PC culture. You know, if it offended someone, that made people laugh harder. Because guess what? When you get offended, people are going to make fun of you because you have thin skin. And that long tweet, my goodness, it is, I mean, this is just kind of funny how it looks here with all of these this long list of just people. Well, all these people were killed. Whether we know if they were killed because they were trans or not, it's like, okay, well, what about all the other people that get killed all the time? Because it happens. There's terrible people in the world that don't care if you're trans or not. You know, it's give me your money or else I'm going to kill you. Those people exist. That's rather dark, but you know, these people, this thread was talking about thin skin or not. And they even reference saying, I'll bring it up. Hold on, let me I'll just read this spot to you. Let's just bring it back real quick. Being trans is actually pretty funny. If you're someone who actually knows about the subject matter, how could volunteering for a second puberty not be funny? Wait, Thin skin. Wait, here we go. You try going to a pharmacy and having them call you sir in front of everyone while you pick your estradiol. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing some sort of estrogen hormone something. Yeah, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to know that it's uncomfortable probably, and maybe if you are embarrassed and have thin skin and you don't want people to call you sir, go through a private pharmacy or, order it in advance so people don't announce what you're getting. I mean, it sounds like you got triggered by someone calling you sir. Maybe you look like a sir, and someone that's just kind of, people don't understand that. And guess what? They might never understand. This is the thing. Stop trying to have other people validate you. You need to validate yourself. You need to affirm your own worth and stop basing it on what others think of you. What happened to that? What happened to the ability to say, I'm valuable, I'm worth it, I don't need anyone out there to tell me whether I do or not, because I know that I am. We need to bring that back, because if everyone felt that way, this wouldn't happen anymore. They wouldn't care about what other people call them, pronouns or whatnot. Can we normalize not using guys as a gender neutral term? Who cares? Who cares? Why does it matter to you? Oh, because I'm not validated. Okay, that's your problem. Stop relying on other people to base your worth as a human being. You do that. It's 100% on you. And if you can't validate yourself, you're never going to be validated by others, because there's always going to be someone out there that will say, no, I don't owe you anything. I don't want to give you anything. I don't agree with what you say, and I will never validate you. You're never going to have that person change their mind, ever. So accept that you can't change that and worry about yourself. They don't want to do that. They want to focus on forcing others to bow to them, to treat them better than others, which no one should be treated on a higher level than anyone else. We're all human beings. We all bleed the same color. We all die. Period. All right. So anyway, please go watch The Closer, because it actually is very eye-opening. He opens his heart about the story that obviously affected him a lot, and he even said, he's like, look, this is the last time I'm even going to talk about the LGBTQ community. There's a bunch more letters in there, but whatever, he's not going to talk about it anymore. Okay. And his exact response was, until we're all laughing together. I love that. And until these people that need validation from others learn how to not worry about what others think of them, they won't ever be able to laugh at Dave Chappelle. So, all right. So I'm done. I'm done talking about this. I'm gonna move forward. Let's talk about this absolutely ridiculous Kamala Harris video. So I don't know how many people have seen this, okay? But Kamala Harris came out and worked with NASA. And here it is, actually. I have this video on YouTube. I can't play it for you guys because I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for it or whatnot. But NASA came out. They got 9 million subs. Look at this, 19,000 dislikes. Yeah, I disliked it because I don't like being catered to. I don't like being lied to. Pardon me. And this is very obviously a ploy to try to show her being human or something. Or, I don't know, some sort of pander to the young kids to try to think that she's like a motherly figure, because she doesn't have her own kids, right? I don't think she does. But check this out. Child actors hired to meet Kamala Harris for a YouTube video. And that was that video. I do suggest, please go watch it. Okay. By the way, all of the clips or all of the things that I use in my show, I post over on my locals page, so you can go over there and reference anything that I show you guys. I've been doing that for a little while now, so you can go and check out the video. It's on there, posted on my locals page, adamkrigler.locals.com. Anyway, Kamala Harris has been caught red-handed. She was widely mocked online for a video with her school-age children grinning and apparently thrilled to see her, talking about space exploration and NASA. But these were not simply any kids who were hyped about talking to the vice president about space exploration. A new report revealed that they were carefully selected paid child actors who were picked after they submitted a monologue and 3 questions that they would ask a world leader. The YouTube's original series entitled Get Curious with Vice President Harris, how she finds the time to do this kind of stuff, I mean, it actually makes sense because she's not doing any actual governing, is aimed at getting children interested in space and included an appearance by NASA astronaut Shane Kimbrough from the International Space Station. But the children featured in the first installment of the series were child actors, including 13-year-old Trevor Bernardino. In one scene, Harris tells the children that they're going to learn so much, adding that they will literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. And then this is actually a quote, with your own eyes, and I actually have it sitting right in that segment. You know what? I'll play this one.
Literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. Oh my goodness. With your own eyes, I'm telling you, it is.
She's so fake. It's so bad. It was so hard to watch this. I'm sorry I even had to show you guys what I did show you just then. So the whole time, I mean, I knew before I watched this that they were child actors because I heard about it. And when I was watching it, you can hear them give their scripted questions. And then you see Kamala, by the way, you're a horrible actor. Horrible, which is actually Danish for horrible, or Kamala is Danish. Finnish. I think it's Finnish, maybe. Kamala is horrible in Finnish, and it is hilarious because she is a horrible actress. All right, but she's giving these scripted responses. Let's see. The kid actors appeared to be genuinely excited, and Harris seems to be revealing something to them that they didn't already know. The kids are relentlessly jubilant throughout the jubilant. I don't actually know this word. Interesting word here. Let's find out what that means because I have no idea. Zestful, enthusiastic, jubilant, ebullient, boiling or seeming to boil, bubbling. Ah, okay, great. Well, we just learned something. Bernardino. Like a caramel? What the heck does that mean? Caramel? Californian teen? Is that a reference to his color? Why would they add that? What is that doing to this article? Really? Come on. Anyway, a California teen who was one of 5 child actors in the video told KSBW TV that he submitted a monologue and was interviewed for a role in the series. Quote, then after that, like a week later, my agent called me and was like, hey, Trevor, you booked it. The only thing he knew that he was going to Washington, D.C., and it was going to interview someone. Let's see. The most exciting part was definitely meeting Vice President Harris. There's nothing that can top that. Like, honestly, she just sat us down, and she is super charismatic. She's everything I ever thought of her, plus more. She made me feel like one of her peers at the time. I felt super important. I was talking about blah, 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 blah. How much did you get paid to say that in the interview? Child actor. Really? I mean, you think that this kid actually felt that way? Maybe he's from California, who knows? But hey, you got the job. By the way, here's an extra $50,000 if you do interviews and go out and tell everyone how amazing Kamala Harris is and how incredible and exactly as you thought she would be when you met her. Well, I don't believe that to be a true statement. I think that this person was paid to both be the child actor that they are in video with Kamala Harris and also in this interview, because my goodness. And boy, is Kamala Harris being mocked by everyone, and rightfully so, because what has she done? She was tapped as the border czar, and as far as I know, the border is still wide open. People are still pouring through. There's migrants coming from south, just coming into the border because no one's stopping them. In fact, they're basically tying the Border Patrol's hands behind their back. Donald Trump Jr. said, just when you thought the most fake human being in the history of the world couldn't get any more phony, there's this. And this is the Daily Mail article talking about it. Oh my gosh. Look at it. She's looking right at the camera too. Like she knows. Look how great this is. I mean, she is so bad. I can't play this for you guys because it's so cringy. But this comes after this whole thing. If you don't remember, here's Biden talking out of his fake White House. They built a studio out of, I think it's across the street from what I've heard. It's not in the White House. Why they're not using the White House? Some speculate that they can skirt the laws that make them have to report on who's showing up to actually talk to him, and it's a public discrepancy thing or transparency thing, I guess more is the right word for it. But I mean, look at this. It's in an auditorium. Here's him meeting with a world leader about green energy. Here's him sitting with a fake rose garden behind him to give the illusion that he's somehow outside or inside from the rose garden. I just don't get it. My goodness. I'm so soy Jesus for Prez. That's hilarious. No. I'm not interested. No way. I'm sick of this fakeness. I'm sick of this gaslighting that people are it's just the norm now, right? I mean, and there's people that are eating this up. They're going along with it. Oh, yeah, there's another someone just mentioned, Broken Prophet just mentioned the teleprompter. Right. There's also rumors that saying that he needs to be uninterrupted. They need to be able to set up a teleprompter system that he can read from, because we all know the dude can't speak on his own. Every single time he's out and about reading, he gaffes the most ridiculous way. I don't think this guy could read without, or could say a full speech without a teleprompter and not mess up. All right. Now, I don't think a lot of people could actually, because it's not easy to speak publicly. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm getting better and better as I go. I was terrible when I first started my show. I couldn't read from an article. I was horrendous at it. But, practice, I've gotten better and better at it. But when you're a politician for 48 years, you think that you would get good at it. Actually, Biden was really good at it. I've seen countless videos of him articulate and to the point, legible. You can hear him, and he articulates the words he was saying. Granted, a lot of them were racist and terrible policies that I didn't agree with at all, but you can understand the point he was trying to drive home. This dude is the president now. What is this? This guy they're trying to convince us that this man still knows what he's talking about. They're trying to convince us that Kamala somehow has it together. Everything they do is fake. I mean, listening to Jen Psaki trying to explain the things that they do. Well, as you know, this has been disproven. Well, you may know that we're right and you're wrong. So, next question. So fed up with this whole administration. I mean, I can't do anything about it. I could just talk about how terrible they are and that we need to vote them out. 80 million votes. 81 million votes. Sure. All right, let's talk about Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk. That's right. William Shatner becomes the oldest man to go to space. Some might argue he was not in orbit. He wasn't in space. He was technically in low suborbit. Okay, whatever. Okay, semantics. I'm not going to argue semantics or not. The dude went to space. Oldest man to do so. He's 90. Dude, this guy is 90. Look at this. This is their new uniforms. Hilarious. Of course, he gets his captain colors, and then they were wearing red shirts, which I don't know if for those who know Star Trek at all, but the red shirts are always the one that kind of got killed on the excursions when they went out and did their thing, which was explore. But this is William Shatner cried, telling Jeff Bezos about his flight to space. And he says, "I hope I never recover from this." Now, on first glance, you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? That sounds rather negative. But then when you get into, I'm going to read his quotes too, because it's really something that's incredible, something that happens that I will love to experience when I do. I cannot wait. And I will one day. I'll go to space. I will be in space one day. I'm going to do it. We are witnessing the shift into space. It's amazing. Here's the quote from him. What you have given me is the most profound experience. I am so filled with emotion about what just happened. It's extraordinary, Shatner, tearing up, said. I hope I never recover from this. I hope that I can maintain what I feel now. I don't want to lose it. It's so much larger than me and life. It hasn't got anything to do with the little green men. It has to do with the enormity and the quickness and suddenness of life and death. Now he continues. I'm going to read it. But he's 90. The dude's old. People can live to 100, 110. I mean, that's getting up there. But he's had a long life. 90 years old. That's up there. Look at this guy. He looks like he's 75, 80. I mean, not 90, right? He looks really good for his age. Like, look at this guy. Dude's looking good. He's got some time left. He's looking great. But, he's recognizing that, he's probably thought about death. Everyone dies. I've sadly seen a lot of death in my life. People close to me, friends, and my grandparents. Luckily, I have one still with me. Shout out to my Mormor. And if you do have them in your life, you're blessed. And call them and talk to them and hang out with them while you still can. Shatner said he was stunned by the thin line of Earth's atmosphere. At one point during his post-flight reflection, he covered his face and wiped away tears. Look at the beauty of that color. And it's so thin. And you're through it in an instant, he said. Suddenly, you're through the blue and you're into black. You're looking into blackness, into black ugliness. And you look down and there's the blue down there and the black up there. There is Mother Earth and comfort. And then is there death? I don't know. Is that death? Is that the way death is? It was so moving, this experience. At age 90, he is now the oldest person to fly to space. And he continues here. He says, I can't even begin to express. What I would love to do is to communicate as much as possible the jeopardy. The moment you see the vulnerability of everything, it's so small. The air which is keeping us alive is thinner than your skin. It's a sliver. It's immeasurably small. When you think in terms of the universe, it's negligible. This air. Mars doesn't have it, he said. It's so thin. To dirty it. I mean, it's a whole nother... Of course, Bezos cuts him off. I'm sure Robert Shaw is in there saying F Bezos somewhere. And he says, you're in death. This is life and that's death. And in an instant, you go, oh, that's death. That's what I saw. He reminds us that it's not just about space. It's about life in general. Life is too short to forget how grateful we should be, how spoiled we are. We're spoiled. I'm spoiled. I'll admit it. I'm spoiled. I can sleep under a roof. I have air conditioning that keeps my climate comfortable where I live. I can go to the store and get food that I need. I don't have to grow it myself. I don't have to worry about finding fresh water because I can go to my sink and pour myself a glass and it's delicious. People would have to walk for people still do today. I was in South Africa a couple years ago and I was out in the countryside and I saw communities that shared a well, that people would have to walk and to get water and bring it back to the little hut that they lived in. These places exist. They would be amazed to have a faucet that you just turn on and get fresh water. We're these people that focus on these microaggressions and being angry at words that other people say. They don't understand what a macro danger is in life. Worried about, most human beings in the history of humanity had to worry about making sure they had food to eat, had shelter to survive the weather, and other humans that were going to take their stuff, right? Those were like the number one things. And if you didn't have that taken care of, you were screwed. We've eliminated that in mostly on the planet, right? We live in this civilization where we don't have to worry about growing our own food, and we're so spoiled. And that's all I can think about when he's talking about what's out there and how we need to cherish this planet. Look, I love this planet, and I want to conserve it as much as possible. I don't want to dig up fossil fuels. I don't want to dig up rare earth minerals either to switch to batteries, because it's not better. It's just different. It's something else. We need to come up with something better where we don't have to dig up anything. Maybe like what Tesla was trying to design, which he studied the pyramids about using the natural energy that Earth emits, like the Tulare current, which is something that he learned how to harness. Like, why aren't we going there? I like nuclear energy. I think that's a step in the right direction, right? Why aren't we doing that? Why? Because it lasts longer and it's hard to charge people. They can sell people batteries. They can sell people gas. Batteries will die. They got to be replaced. They could sell them more batteries. We need to figure out the next stage of trying to have perpetual motion and perpetual engines that maybe not last forever, but don't use an ignition source or a fuel source. And then we'll be able to travel the world or travel the stars. Life is so fragile, right? These people are taking so much at heart that they shouldn't, and ignoring all the things that they have. And that's really sad. It saddens me. It really is saddening to me to see this, and the people that take life for granted. Don't take life for granted. It's really sad when one day it's gonna end, and enjoy life when you can, right? Enjoy the people that you have around you. Yeah. So congratulations, William. I'm going to give you a little send-off. If you guys haven't seen this, you're welcome.
Packed my bags. Last night, pre-flight. 0 hour. 9 a.m. And I'm going to be high. As a kite by then. Miss the earth so much. I miss my wife.
All right, I don't know if I can play this for you guys. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble or not. Because it's not the original song, but please go. He's good. Like that, he does it so well. Like he's talking to himself, he's reflecting while he's smoking his cigarette. Well, he is officially a rocket man. He has gone to space, and I'm pretty happy about him. The Stewie was referencing, yeah, that's right. Family Guy did a thing on that, didn't it? All right, so anyway, that is really funny. You guys definitely have to check him out. All right, so just a reminder to everyone, if you want to reference any of the things that I talk about on my show, I post all of the links to everything that I do over on my locals page. That's adamkrigler.locals.com. Go on over there if you want to reference anything, if you want to share it with someone or read the entire article yourself. I post them over there every single day. All right, let us get into some super chats. Robert Wiles did some before, but I actually vaguely remember what he said. It's pretty consistent now. I hope this makes Diana and Betty smile, and that is it your sister who's coming to surprise you, or your niece? Someone's coming to surprise. I don't remember exactly what you said, but I know that you probably added a be blessed, and thanks for everything that you do. Let me see how good I got it. All right, next we got chat says, Adam, you need to check out this channel, Distracted Nerd. He makes really funny movie reviews. All right, movie reviews, huh? I like that. Mark G says, but where's the Parmesan can for the doll's pipe? Oh, yeah, that's funny. All right, for those who missed it, I actually posted a little video of Chrissy Mayer. She got a little Hunter Biden doll that is hilarious. Someone made her a very small little Hunter Biden doll. It was pretty good. All right, here we go. Yeah, Robert Wiles said, yes, your niece from college will be there, and she wanted to surprise him. I nailed it. Yes, I thought so. All right, cool. Let's see. What's next? Mark Robichaud says, yep, Biden is a bad president after all. I mean, look at his son. I mean, look at this. His little crack pipe.
And then we got some stacks.
I mean, look at this. He even has, the guy's got the tattoos of the things on his back, and then a poop stain. Oh my gosh. Little laptop, Ukrainian natural gas for dummies. This is hilarious. All right. Anyway, where was I? Jerry Vision with a $25 super chat. Thank you. Says 800 plus City of Boston employees suspended without pay for refusing to collaborate today. Hundreds more expected over the course of the next few months. Any day now will be the day they send me home. Stay chill, man. Love the show. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And stay strong yourself. I hope that you find something. If something does happen, I hope you land somewhere that will treat you with respect, with being American and free. Mr. Knox says, it's good to see Netflix stand their ground with Dave Chappelle while putting those who work for Netflix to know their place by giving them the boot. Agreed. Robert Crawford says, I hope Captain Kirk did a captain's log from space. It would be classic. I hope so too. I don't know yet. We'll see. Robert Shaw says, Cuties is one of Biden's favorite movies. Okay. Sleazy says, saying Cuties points out the stuff is like a person raping a woman to point it out. Okay. I see what you're saying. Right. For the record, I don't agree with Cuties at all because as I said, I think it sexualizes kids and that's terrible. Sejong says the movie Fauci has now the lowest review score on Rotten Tomatoes in history at 3%, lower than Eddie Murphy's Nesbitt, which is the polar opposite of The Closer. In fact, I do have this. Check this out. The Closer versus Fauci, which I guess has dropped now below. Interesting. I should have. I forgot to bring that up during the segment, but let's see. Mr. Knox says also look up the ratings for Netflix with the agenda compared to any other Netflix shows. They usually have poor audience rating. Makes sense. Makes sense. Robert Shaw says Squid Game is the most watched Netflix show ever. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I liked it. I haven't finished it yet, but I liked it so far. Jesus says, Adam, here's some stonks. $10. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you do and keep the conversations going. Stay awesome, Adam, and hail chat. Right on. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Robert Shaw says, it's Superman's son that's by, not Superman himself. Yes, but he is now Superman because his dad has left, so now he has taken the mantle of Superman on Earth. So yes, technically it's his son, but also technically he's Superman now. Pardon me. Just needed some water. Sejong says, Cuties considerably has an issue with how it was adverted, as opposed to the real message of the film, which I read were not parallel. The adverts definitely had a pedo bent. Movie chastises underage sexualization, they said. Thank you for that $20 super chat, Sejong. Yeah, exactly. Though you're right. The way that the ads for that movie were disgusting, and they were a bunch of kids that were being sexualized, essentially. It was bad. Sejong continues, says, cuties, as it were, may be compared to child beauty pageants, so to speak, and like a dark side movie instead of what Netflix was promoting. Well, they should have definitely fixed that and apologized for that, right? Because they lost a lot of revenue, I believe, from those adverts. Scrody with a $20 super chat. What's good, mate? Says, howdy, Adam. Superman was supposed to be Jewish and has a ton of symbolism in it. The creators were Jewish outcasts. There are tons of interesting articles about this. I'm okay with gay superheroes, but create brand new ones. Yeah, the problem lies with creativity. People they want to hijack something that's already established instead of making something new. You know, it's like, and putting it to the forefront. Like, who cares? Who cares that they're bi? Like, all right, what does it change something? You know, and whatever. It's not the biggest deal. I don't understand. It just create a new character. You know, make something new. They don't want to do it. They're lazy, or lack creativity, or they just want to hijack something that's already established, probably for their own identity or their own narrative. Scrody continues, says, the Chicago mayor is the woman. I thought that was Sherman Hemsley. That was funny. Robert Shaw says, I'm eating home-cooked butter chicken at the moment. Okay. Sejong, technically, by Superman isn't Clark Kent, so it's not exactly by Superman. Similar to Red Sun, you can change the character if you change the man. No, I mean, that's something that people talk about, but in fact, it is Superman because his dad left and has given the mantle of Superman on planet Earth to him. So I guess whatever, semantics. Sparky says, never heard of vegan living past a verified 89. Interesting. Robert Wiles. There's dog's barking. Can you guys hear the dogs barking? What are you guys doing? You guys hear that? Anyway, it's all right. I'm done with my segments. The dogs are barking at something. Robert Wiles with a $10 super chat says, I was at a doctor's appointment, had a lady tell me how I should talk about my disability. I can't even talk about my disability without someone telling me how I should do it. This is how some on the left thinks. Oh, that's annoying. I mean, you talk about it and you're open about it, and you know you've made jokes about it yourself, and that's how it should be. You know, no one can tell you how to talk about it. It's ridiculous. Robert Shaw says, didn't you break your vegan streak recently? Yes, I've had eggs, but that's it. I don't think I'll ever have dairy again, but I have had eggs because I know their parents, as it were, and they're chill and not being forced in cages. Sejong the Great says, Adam is now vegan light or vegetarian plus. But no dairy. I don't do dairy. What is that called? I think it's ovo vegan. Maybe that's what it's called. Sparky says the laugh track was invented for the woke. The Real Hydro says, as long as we are quick to call people racist or any other isms, this country will be doomed. We don't always have to agree, especially on the internet. Well, we don't have to agree, period, right? I mean, you and I don't agree all the time, Hydro. We've gotten into some disagreements in the past, and that's okay. Yeah, quick to call anyone anything is always wrong, right? Steve-O in chat says, nice haircut, Adam. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mark Robertshaw says, recent shows and movies, yes, stereotypes all the time. If a chick has a short haircut, wears a vest, 9 out of 10 times, they're lesbian or bi. It's all copy-paste characters. That seems pretty accurate, yep. Sparky says, humorless people take the wrong people serious. Boom. That's it. That's a great point. Yep. Let's see. Where was I? Sparky, yeah, Ebrock, thank you for that super chat. I didn't even say anything. Thank you so much. Robert Shaw, bro, I can't watch Closer and you at the same time. All right, well, you can go watch it after I'm done, right? Sejong says, the presidency is a total sham. Before you get into votes, put this in you or never work again. Who said it better, Joe Biden or Harvey Weinstein? Oof. Bro. I mean, I saw that meme, but my goodness. Oof. Robert Shaw said, those kids are lucky it wasn't Biden they met. Yeah, I'd be smelling them. Not Bob Saget says, I wear a mask to school. Let's go, Brandon, and F Kamala, too. I'm getting so tired of honk world. Thanks for keeping us grounded. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Scrody says, they were probably dwarves since she can't smell like children around Biden. Gosh, you guys are brutal today. Mr. Knox says, isn't Kamala supposed to tend to the border crisis? How is she able to find the time? My thoughts exactly. Adolfo with a $100 ARS. What is ARS? I don't even know what that is. ARS. Argentine pesos. Oh, cool. Thank you. It seems that it is about $10, right? Is that a $10 super chat? Hold on. Come on. Oh, it's about what? 0.01. Oh, okay. It says the cringe was hard. 100 ARS. I've never gotten ARS. I've never seen that one before. But thank you for that. Sorry. Sejong with a $10 super chat says, favorite part about explaining my job to the Navy to children was how I would explain how you could see the fear in the pirates' eyes and the urine stain on the robes with your own eyes before firing. Jeez, dude. Okay. It's me says, had to hire kids. Normal kids are chanting, let's go, Brandon. Good point. Good point. Robert Shaw says, Harris is a cringe god emperor. So cringe, I'm blind. Go watch the video yourself, and it's so much worse. Oh, my goodness. It's so bad. Mr. Knox says, watching that video of the kids with Kamala reminds me of the propaganda videos of Kim Jong-il and Xi Jinping surrounded by kids. Yeah, really bad. They probably look up to that. Magnum Express says they probably also paid Kamala not to cackle like a lunatic in front of those kids. Therapy for that kind of lasting trauma is expensive. My goodness. Robert Shaw says, no. North Korea is way better. Way better. Is it really, though? Robert Shaw says his butt's been wiped. His butt gets wiped daily. This chat is gold. Yeah, the chat is gold. Shout out to chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. Emily Mower says modern nuclear is even safer than so-called renewables. Yeah, but they don't want to do that. Because you set it up and it lasts for a long time. These new nuclear reactors are so solid and safe. But, there's this whole stigma because of Chernobyl, Fukushima, which were like type 1, I believe, the original. I mean, Fukushima was way behind on updating all their stuff. There's a whole thing about Chernobyl as well. These are not the nuclear reactors of today. They've come so far. Totally different. Montana Horseman says, thank you for not playing more Kamala, by the way. You're welcome. Redoubt Production says, we can criticize Trump all day, but I cannot understand how someone can genuinely say Biden/Harris are better representation for our country. Yeah. My goodness. Jago Dragon says, it's not just that they're lazy. They want to dismantle everything good that doesn't represent them. Nailed it. Yep, exactly. Phantom, the warrior painter with a $20 super chat says, hey, Adam, my uncle is a firefighter suing the state of Illinois and the city of Naperville over mandates. He and his lawyer would love to talk to you about it. Halgren versus City of Naperville is the case. DM'd more info on Instagram. I know Naperville. I used to work in Naperville, actually, when I was younger. Interesting. I think I've actually saw your message, or I read something about this already. Maybe you hit me up on... Did you hit me up on something else? I did read about this. Yeah, over mandates, huh? Firefighter. Interesting. Yeah, well, let's talk more. Are you on my locals page? Definitely go join my locals. Please post something on there so I can get a little more, involved, because that's great. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you guys. Readout again says, a more important questions, what blend of Crigler coffee would you recommend for an infrequent coffee drinker like myself? I would say the Catalyst blend is definitely the good go-to. It's got a good medium. Actually, is this Catalyst? I think this is Catalyst here. I'm almost out, but this is the original left-handed mug. We then, of course, made the right-handed mug. Next, we're going to do a different color. Oh, we're going to have something different. Or, well, maybe lack of color. We'll see. Not sure. Sejong with a $50 super chat. I think you guys know what that means. One thing Netflix has done correctly is invest heavily in South Korea media, which is a heavily conservative culture. They don't imply much woke activity in television, and when it's included, it's shamed. Now let's roll up some 22 till none. Awesome. I love that. All right, you guys know the deal. The dice has been rolled for a bag of coffee sponsored by Sejong the Great. Thank you, Sejong. I appreciate that a lot. You guys know the deal. Good luck. Have fun. I'm watching the numbers. Winner gets a bag of Crigler coffee brought to you by Sejong the Great. Thank you, Sejong. Nam Iron says, hey, Adam, let's go, Brandon. There's the energy. I love that energy. All right, let's see. We got the numbers rolling in. Good luck, everybody. This is for an actual bag of Crigler coffee. He says it's for 22 until none. Some people like specific blends or maybe want a decaf. It's okay to switch if you would like, but hopefully you choose Commodore's Reserve because it goes to a good cause. Adam, that is too much too fast. Oh, it happens. Let's see. Here comes these numbers. There it is. We got a winner. It is Dead World. Dead World, congratulations. You were the first person to guess 15. That is, in fact, the winning number. You won. Congratulations. Lancer says green energy is not shielded. It's weak to attack. Oh, don't even get me started. I mean, it's such a small percentage of what we, where we get our energy from. It's just not viable and ridiculous. I am just posting over in winners. Congratulations, Dead World. You won. You know the deal. All you got to do is email me over at Crigler Coffee or at the Crigler Show at gmail.com. Let me know what your preference is. And yeah, right on. So that is my show, everyone. Thank you very much. And I really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Smash that like button. Share my videos. It definitely helps my channel grow. I am excited to announce next Friday. You love it and you might hate it. I'm not doing a show next Friday because I am going to be rejoining the Friday Night Tights show. And I love joining those guys. They're absolutely fantastic. So next Friday, I was just asked today if I would join, and I love going on their show. So I'm going to be joining them over on Friday Night Tights. If you guys don't know it, you're missing out because it's a lot of fun. But unfortunately, it goes on during my show. So I'm going to take off the day and join them. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I will be doing a jam night this Friday. I know I missed last Friday's jam night as well. But I got a nice... I forgot to put my classical. I was... playing with it earlier, but all right. Oh, we got one more. Warrior Painter says, I'll go join locals. I messaged you about this the day the stream randomly cut as the stream cut. Oh, that's what it was. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Right. Okay. I thought I read that somewhere because I read it after it cut. I saw that you super chatted me. So thank you for that super chat as well. Dead World became a member. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you for very much, Dead World. You can now spin the UFO in chat. Alpha Zero Omega, what's good? It's good to see you. Says, I never in my life wished I was living in your part of the world more than I do now. Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free. Alpha Omega or Zero Omega is down in Australia, and it's a bummer what's going on in Australia right now. They are at the definition of authoritarians. So, my goodness. All right, so thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you for showing up for me daily like you do, super chatting me like you do, supporting me in any way that you can, even if it's just sharing the video, even if it's just showing up for me and hanging out. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.